Yeah. Young Gerald.
Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So today I've created this really pretty bronzy look using the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia, and I've gone with really nice dewy skin and a nude lip. If you guys want to see how I created this look, then please keep watching. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is a moisturiser. This one is just the Nivea Soft Moisturising Cream. Today I'm going to use the MAC Prep and Prime Natural Radiance, and this is just a primer. So the next thing I'm going to use is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal, and this is just like a liquid highlighter. And I mostly focus this on the cheeks and sort of bottom half of my face. So the foundation I'm going to use today is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and it's in the shade light beige. And I find the best way to apply this foundation is with a damp beauty blender. So as you guys can see, this gives a really nice natural sort of dewy finish. But it still gives like a medium type of coverage as well, which I really love. So moving on to concealer, my favorite at the moment is these guys here. These are the Tarte Shape Tape. I got them when I was in America, so you can get them at Ulta. So I used the two shades in medium and light. I use a mixture of both of them. With the light one, I put a little bit down the bridge of my nose and a little bit on the, in between my brows, a little bit on the chin and the cupid's bow. I'm just going to use my damp beauty blender again and just blend those bits in. So to set those bright parts that I've just put underneath my eyes, down the T-zone, I'm going to use a slightly lighter powder. So I'm going to use the MAC Mineralise Skin Finish, and this is in the shade Light. I'm just going to lightly pat that underneath my eyes. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use the same Mineralized Skin Finish powder, but I'm going to use the shade Medium Golden. Now if you want to keep the skin looking nice and dewy, you don't want to use too much in the way of powder, so I'm just going to really lightly dust this onto my skin. So now that we've set the face, I'm going to do the brows. My favourite brow product at the moment is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is actually a brow powder, and this one is in the shade Soft Brown. With this you actually get two shades, so I use mostly the lighter shade. I use a little bit of the darker shade just at the end of my brows. So the first thing I do is I like to just sort of comb the brows, just to kind of make sure that they're all in place as well. So when it comes to the front of the brows, I actually like to push the product upwards. If you guys actually want to see like a proper in-depth brow tutorial, then please let me know. I'd be happy to do one for you. So now that the brows are done, we're going to move on to the eyes. So I'm going to use a concealer as a base on the eyes. I find this works really well just to kind of cancel out any discoloration on the eyelids themselves, which I know I personally do have. But it also helps the eyeshadows to kind of blend a little bit easier and make them pop and become a bit more noticeable, and actually make the eyeshadow last a lot longer throughout the day. I'm just going to use the same concealer that I used underneath my eyes, but I'm going to just use the medium shade. The brush I'm using is this one here, just a little bit more defined, so I can kind of define the brows a little bit more with the concealer as well. And this brush is a MAC 195 brush. To set the eyelids, I'm just going to use the same powder that I used before in the light shade. So moving on to the eyeshadow, the palette that I'm going to use today is the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia. This is one of my all-time favourite palettes. You can see the colour range here. It has really nice sort of warm shades, a few sort of shimmer shades, and then you've got your sort of warm like oranges and pinks as well, which if you see my Instagram, you'll see that I kind of use those shades a lot. So I'm going to do a really simple bronzy sort of eye look today, something quite wearable. I'm going to start off with this one here called Burnt Orange. And I'm going to use a MAC 224 brush, so something really nice and fluffy that's just going to create a nice transition through my crease area. So now that we've got the transition shade on, I'm going to go in with this shade here. This one is called Antique Bronze. I'm going to use the brush that I actually got with the palette and use the more flat side. And I'm going to focus this more so on the lid. And then I'm just going to blend that out along the top there, just to kind of blend into the transition shade that we put there before. To create a little bit more depth, I'm just going to go in with this dark shade here. As you can see, I do use this one a lot. This one is called Cypress Umber. And I'm just going to use a slightly smaller brush and focus this on the outer part of the eye. So to finish off the eyes, I'm going to use that same bronze shade there, and I'm just going to bring that underneath on the bottom lash line. The brush I'm going to use for that is a pencil brush. Basically just want to bring that from outer corner to inner corner until you're happy with the depth of colour. So to finish off the eyes now, I'm just going to use a brow and inner corner highlight. So I'm going to use this top shade here called Vermeer. And I'm just going to use a more sort of detailed brush, if you guys can see there. So for the last step for the eye look, we're going to curl the lashes and then add some mascara. So the mascara that I'm going to be using is the Better Than Sex Mascara. This is just from Too Faced, and it's my current favourite at the moment. So now that the eyes are done, we're going to move on to the face again. So we're going to start off by adding a little bit of a contour. And today I'm just going to be using the Benefit Hoola bronzer. This is one of my current favorites. I'm just going to use the same brush that I used for the powder. I like to kind of just use the same brushes. I feel like you can get away with using sort of less brushes and using them for multiple different things. When you're doing your contouring, you basically want to follow your natural sort of cheekbone area, so you'll be able to feel on yourself where the actual bone is. You basically want to be putting the contour shade directly on that bone or slightly underneath it, and that's just going to help to bring the cheekbone up and also make the face look a little bit more defined as well. So as you guys can see from this side, obviously it looks a lot more defined compared to this side here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same on the other side. I'm also going to bring that same contour shade and bring it a little bit around my hairline and bring in a little bit sort of on the temples, just to kind of bring my forehead in a little bit. So to carry on that really bronzy sort of look that we've got going on in the eyes, I'm actually going to use a shimmery sort of bronzer. This one is the Gold Deposit by MAC. Just using the same brush again. And I'm actually going to go like directly over the contour that I've just put on. For blush today, I'm going to use this palette. I'm actually going to use... I think I'm going to use this shade here, which is Margin by MAC, just because it's more of like a brown sort of undertone to it as well. It still looks really pretty. So I'm just going to use the 137 brush by MAC, again focusing most of my product on the end of the brush and then lightly dust sort of above where I've put my contour. And you'll see it just sort of gives like a really nice flushed look without being too pink. So the highlighter that I'm using today is this one here from Becca, and it is called Champagne Pop. So I'm using the Anastasia A23 brush. This is my favorite highlighting brush, and I'm just going to dust that on top of the cheekbones here. So the colour that I've chosen for the lips to go with the eye makeup that we've done is one that I got when I was in America. This one is just a little sample size, but it's called Birthday Suit from Tarte. The lip liner I'm going to use is this one here. This is a Prolongwear lip pencil from MAC called Double Time. And then I'm actually going to use a gloss on top of that. This one here is from the Mariah Carey collection from MAC in the shade Dream Lover. And then to finish off the look, I'm going to go in with my trusty MAC Fix Plus. If you guys don't have this, you need to get it. I use it all the time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you liked this video, then please give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love if you guys could leave me some comments down below of some looks that you guys would like to see. If you want to see an in-depth brow tutorial, then let me know as well. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback in the comments section. Make sure you follow me on my other social media accounts. I'll leave them linked in the description bar along with the products that I used today as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys on my next video. Thanks so much. Bye.